Hey guys, Myles here at Tactical Hyve, and in today's video I'm going to share my 3 favorite drills, the 3 basic marksmanship drills that I do over and over that have really helped me improve my skills. So if you're interested, stay tuned. We want to thank Vedder Holsters for bringing you today's video. If you are looking for a good concealed carry holster at a great price, make sure to check them out. They have holsters for pretty much every major make and model pistol out there. They make them quick, they're made in the USA, so make sure to check them out in the description below. All right, welcome back. As I mentioned in the intro, there are 3 core drills that I keep on going back to that have really helped me in my shooting journey. I'm going to share the 3 core drills with you so that you can try them out, and I'll share what's going through my mind as I do these drills. Now keep in mind, these are the core drills. I do variations of them, but what I'm going to share with you, I probably do 60 to 70% of the time, and the other 30 to 40% I'll do variations. It just kind of depends on what I'm working on that day or what I'm struggling with or what I want to improve. So the first one is something that I have probably talked about in the past, and that is called 20 alpha. I have a target downrange 20 yards, and all I'm going to do is there's going to be 4 sets of 5 shots, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to land all those shots in the A zone as much as possible. I'm going to do everything from the holster, and I'm trying to beat the par time of 2.5 seconds. I like this drill a lot because it's going to be a really good test of your fundamentals and recoil management. When I'm shooting, I'm trying to have complete control of my muzzle. In other words, all I want this gun to do is to move up as minimal as possible and right back to where it started. I'm trying to prevent this from bouncing. I'm trying to prevent the muzzle from going all the way up. I'm trying to prevent the muzzle from dipping or moving left and right as well. All I want that dot or iron sight, that front sight, to do is just move up and down like a sewing machine. And this drill is great for that, to see if I have the proper mechanics. Now some people might be asking or wondering, why don't I just do something up close, like 7 yards, 10 yards, or anything like that? It is a lot more difficult when it's further out and you see your dot or your front sight move a lot more just because it is further away. The fact though is the gun is moving exactly as it would if the target was at 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. It's because the target is further that it seems like the red dot or the front sight might be going out of the A zone or whatever your intended target zone is. So it holds you to a higher standard, so to speak, where you really have to control that gun and make sure the muzzle is moving exactly as you want. If you aren't strict on yourself, it's not as forgiving. Whereas if I was up close and the target was 7 yards, if I make one little mistake, there's still a possibility that I'll have a good group and get my shots. Whereas at 20 yards, it's a lot more difficult. So again, I like to start here on the buzzer. I'm going to draw, I'm going to take 5 shots, and then I'm going to holster. I'm going to wait for the timer to start the second set, and then I'm going to do the full 20 alpha drill. Then we'll go over the times, the stats, and then talk about what I'm trying to spot or what I'm trying to improve when I'm doing this actual drill and looking at the data. So I'm going to put my eyes and ears, and then we'll start the drill. All right, so I'm set up. I'm using a timer, the Shooter's Global Smart Timer that has a preset where it's gonna do 4 sets, as I talked about, of 5 reps, all automatically, one after the other. So I'm gonna do the whole drill, and then we'll talk about it. All right, here we go. All right, so that's the drill. We're gonna take a look at the targets, and then we'll take a look at the times. All right, so we're here at the 20-yard line, and you'll see I got 3 out. I felt all 3 of these, and actually I was a little anxious just because I was concerned more about the filming and if everything was tracking properly, so I wasn't hyper-focused. But I feel good about the accuracy. Usually I try to shoot at a speed that I can get most in, and usually 2 to 3 out. That's usually going to be my limit. As I talked about, I was using the smart timer to create those 4 sets of 5 repetitions. So as you can see here, I have my times here. The first set was 288, second set was 333, then the third set was 278, fourth set was 295. So I'm slower than my target par time, which is 2.5 seconds. And typically my times on average are gonna be 2.46 to 2.53, and I'll have pretty much everything in. As I mentioned, was a little off guard here because of the filming. But again, I like this drill because it's not very forgiving. You have one little mistake, that bullet is gonna veer off. It's exactly what happened here with these 3 shots. So I will continue doing this practically for, gosh, 500 to 1,000 rounds until I'm happy and everything's dialed and I feel like everything's consistent, that dot is tracking up and down very well. And I'll use a smart timer like this to really spot where the issues are. So if you take a look at set 2, this was 3.33. I believe that was, yes, that was the slowest run. You'll see my first shot was 209. Already I know what it needs to speed up because my draw typically will have something at 1.4 if it's really fast from 20 yards, and it'll be an A zone hit. So this means I can shave off a lot of time. I just got to draw faster. I was a little confused, and that's what caused the slow draws, because I was hearing also the par time, which was set at 3.5 seconds, and I was getting confused which was the actual real buzzer because I forgot what the time settings were that I input into the timer. But this is the drill that I like to use. And this is a great way, if you guys do have the smart timer, you can compare all of your runs and all of your split times within the timer as well as the app. So this drill is awesome because if you can get everything in your A and do everything in 2.5 seconds, dealing with that dot moving a lot more, and if things are more forgiving, then everything's going to be much easier up close. All right, the next drill is the throttle control drill, and this is very popular among different shooters, and that is putting targets at different distances and different widths. The whole idea is that for closer targets, you're typically going to shoot them faster, you're going to engage faster. And then as you go further, you're going to slow it down to get your hits. It's always a combination of speed and accuracy. I do want to nail the target's exactly where I'm shooting, and for this drill I'm trying to aim at the A zone, but I'm also trying to go faster. So I like to use a timer, I like to compare my stats, and what I'm trying to do is go faster and faster and faster while maintaining my hits. So I've set up the timer, just to demonstrate this, I've set up the timer using one of the presets to have 3 sets of 1 repetition here. Okay, so 1 repetition is going to be me drawing and taking 6 shots. I will usually mix it up where if I'm not comparing specific runs, but for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage the right target, which is at about 7 yards, the left target, which is at about 12 yards, and the furthest target at 20 yards. And I'm going to do 3 sets of that, and I'm going to try to improve my speed while maintaining my accuracy each run. And again, the beauty of recording all of your data is you can look back on it and then see what you're missing or where you can improve. So I'm going to get ready to do this run. Again, it's going to be 6 shots. I'll do 3 repetitions of it. All right, so I'm loaded here. I'm going to start the drill. All right, so that's the first rep. Second rep. And the final rep. So we'll take a look at the times, we'll take a look at the targets, and we'll talk about what I'm looking at. All right, so pretty happy with the accuracy here. I got a Charlie there, and Charlie over there. And so I'm going to focus on the time. So the hits were pretty good. My first set was 370, second set was 344, and then my last set was 327, which was the fastest set. So as I talked about, I'm trying to increase my speed while maintaining relatively good accuracy. And to see my time go from 370 to 327 while maintaining pretty good decent hits, there's not tons of Charlies, I'm happy with that. So when I'm shooting this drill, when I'm on the line, when you're watching me, I do a rep, but then immediately know where I have to improve. Okay, I'll feel it sometimes. Okay, at other times I'll have to consult the timer. All right, so when we're looking at the timer and we look at set 1, the first shot was at 136, and so I kind of felt sluggish on my draw. So on the second set, I immediately improved that, and now it was a 1.3. So as I'm doing the actual drill, I'm thinking about where I can improve. And later on, when I'm looking at these stats, I'll look at everything, a split time of every particular shot, every iteration, and then I might do this drill again if there was somewhere I know I can dramatically improve. And then again, I'm looking at the data to see if I improve. When I was shooting, and if you pay attention from the second and the third set, if you take a look at shot 4 to shot 5, on set 2, the split time was 0.63, and I felt it was very slow when I was doing this. So on the third set, I transitioned faster and harder, and it went down to 0.33 while maintaining my hits. So this is a great drill that will allow you to work on accuracy and speed, targets and width, targets and depth. It makes things more dynamic, and it's a little bit more realistic, and it causes you to work more. You're going to have to change your speed, your cadence. You need to make sure that you're on point with your vision. And so there's a lot of great benefits to this. And now if you use a timer and you're able to compare everything just kind of like this, where you see everything side by side, then you can easily spot what you need to improve for the next rep. As I mentioned, I will do this for however many sets, maximum of 10, and then what I'll do is I will look at all the data, and if there's something that really stands out to me, where maybe my draw was slow or the splits were slow, then I might do it again. But what I try to do is, while I'm doing it on the fly, I also spot where there are deficiencies and areas of improvement, and I apply them right away. All right, so the last drill is working on my entries and or exits out of a position. But for today, I'm just going to show entries. And what I mean by entry is, if this was a shooting position for me, I had a threat down range, I'm using this stick as a baseline marker for me, but you don't necessarily need to use this. What I'm going to do is enter in position and then take my shots. And if I were working exits, it is going to be the opposite. It is exiting this position, moving into another position, entering and taking this shot. But for the sake of the video here, I'm just going to work on entries, and I'm going to do 4 sets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from here. I'm going to enter into this position, take 2 shots, and stop. That's where I reset. I go back to the middle. Then I'm going to do the same thing, work to the right. Here, take 2 shots, stop, and then go back to the center here. This target is at about 7 yards, and that is about 12 yards. And so they're not exactly identical here, so I'll be shooting slower on that 12-yard shot and faster on this 7-yard shot. And the idea is I'm trying to enter in quickly and take those 2 shots as fast as possible while maintaining accuracy. Again, I do multiple sets of this. I'm going to be using a timer here. I've set 4 sets for this in a preset. So I'm going to go 1 to the right, 1 to the left, another to the right, and then another to the left. Okay? And then we'll talk about the stats after I'm finished with the drill. All right, there we go. So that's 4 sets. We're going to take a look at the hits and then also take a look at the data that the shot timer recorded. All right, so hits were relatively good. This was all alphas. The 12-yard shot there were 2 alphas, 2 Charlies. And when I look at the time here, there were 4 sets. And the times are all comparable. First set 196, next one 195, 194, 195. Now I do feel that I could have gone faster. You may see in 2 reps going to the right. So that would be my first set and my third set. My draw was messed up. It got kind of bundled up. So I felt I lost some time there. That last set, I took a little bit more time taking those 2 shots there, so my split times were lower, or I should say higher, so that it took a longer time. So looking at the data after the fact, after the drill, I see in set 1 my split time was 0.17, and it's highlighted because that was my fastest split. Going in the same direction was set 3, and that's 0.20, so it was slower. So looking at the time after, I do the drill. Now I would be looking to try and chase that .17. Overall, I'm trying to increase my speed of the entire run because we're working on movement, being able to enter the position and take shots as fast as possible. And this would just be the starting point. I've only done 4 sets. This is where I would start really honing in on where I can improve, where I can shave off time, where I can go faster. And I've already shared a few spots. One is the split times on this easier target. And I know when entering positions, I could have shot sooner to cut off some time. So on some of those reps, I felt like I waited too long before taking shots on this easy target. That further target, I have to be a little bit more conservative, although not by much. But in the end, the timer is going to tell me everything, where I need to improve, and where I'm doing well. So there you guys have it, the 3 core drills I like to do over and over again. I will do variations of these. I just showed you kind of the base of what I start off with. Like the 20 alpha, I might do it from different weird positions. The throttle control video, I might doing it entering and exiting. And the entering drill that I just showed you, I'll do exits as well. And then maybe put other targets to make it more dynamic. But that's really it. And these drills have helped me immensely. Again, these are just my top favorites. There's lots of different drills out there, guys, and I do a lot more, but I always seem to be coming back to these drills and a variation of them. So give them a try, and hopefully they help you out as much as they have helped me in my shooting journey. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more drills like this, or whatever topics you guys want us to cover, let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys next time.